in order to have a tool that is going to work for all of us. The application is phone-based that can be able to gather this data out there in the field. So in essence, what we are trying to do is do away with paper-based data collection and have everything that we needed being digitized and used on phone application. To this effect, I want to invite Ms. Caroline Othime to present to us what she has for the day.
Our chief guest, Dr. Othime Amolo. Our invited guests, Honorable James Reggae, MP Karachuonyo. The Auditor General, Mr. Edward Ouko. The NGC Chair, represented by Sam Waura. The Executive Director, CGD, and National Secretary, NTA. Our invited guests, civil societies represented over here, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I'd like to take you through the community integrity building approach, which is the methodology that we used to pilot and to monitor projects in the two constituencies where we piloted this program. That is Homa Bay Town constituency and Karachuonyo constituency. So as I've indicated, the community integrity building approach is the broader methodology that also integrates DevelopmentCheck as an application to collect information at the grassroots level. So it's basically a locally driven approach at the very local level where we have different stakeholders coming together to solve issues. So it's a collaborative method that the local citizens and public officials work jointly to improve on the integrity of infrastructure and of public services at the very local level. It's more or less, as Walde has mentioned, a form of social accountability, which NTA has been doing from the time of its inception in 2006. Over the years, we have done this, and we have audited over 134 constituencies across the country, and also audited around 21 local authorities that are now defunct. And our research has over the years revealed that a lot of wastage has been happening, but when NTA came in, we realized that public leaders actually wanted to become more accountable to the citizenry, and the level of wastage actually reduced to very substantive levels. So what's the definition of integrity in this case when we are looking at the community integrity building? We look at integrity as the alignment of accountability, competency, ethics without corruption. We realize that corruption and fraud actually lead to very poor impacts in development, and it's the poor people that suffer the most. So when we bring about integrity, we are looking at working with competence, working ethically, and also being very accountable in the dealings that we do. And even as citizens, we are able to hold our leaders to account because it's us who's put them in the office. So we should be able to hold them to account with the resources that is in their mandate. So we also look at the control mechanisms that are in place. The Kenyan government has also done very good in this area. We have the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission in place. We have the Auditor General here present with us. And these are issues that the Auditor General also looks into, and his reports actually brings out the level of wastage that we are experiencing as a country. So together as stakeholders, we can be able to look into it and to ensure that there's accountability. So integrity is about providing alternatives to corruption, misconduct, maladministration, and ethical failures. We have the chair of the Commission of Administrative Justice, Dr. Othime Amolo. His area would be to look at administrative justice, being the ombudsman. So these are areas that we can provide as alternative so that we don't have corruption or fraud being perpetrated. So we have a number of pillars that actually lead to national integrity. And as you can see, it starts with the society's value. How are we as a society ingrained to promote transparency and accountability? Also in terms of public awareness, the Constitution of Kenya 2010 promotes the principle of public participation, and also in terms of societal values. These are ingrained in the Constitution of Kenya. And then we have the pillars that promote national integrity. We have the legislature, represented by Honorable James Rege, the executive, the judiciary, the Auditor General, who is present with us, the Ombudsman, who is also present with us, watchdog agencies, public service, the media that is here, the higher education, civil society that is represented here, the private sector. I believe Kenya Association of Manufacturers is also represented here, and other international actors. So all these pillars work together to promote national integrity. And of course, at the end of it all, we have sustainable development, rule of law being there, and also improved quality of life. We experience that as citizens. So specifically to the methodology of the community integrity building approach, it's a 5-stage step. First and foremost, we began with context sensitivity. So in context sensitivity, what is it that we do? You realize that you need to identify the needs and priorities of citizens at that very local level. You identify the different stakeholders that you're going to work with. And in this case, we identified the CDFCs in the 2 constituencies, Karachuonyo and Homa Bay Town. In addition to that, we also identified other stakeholders at the national level, the oversight institutions whom we are partnering with. So, and we also went to the ground and we met with the stakeholders in Homa Bay County. And we were able to do a stakeholder mapping. We identified the needs and priorities at that level. And also at the same time, we identified potential spoilers for those who would maybe by default or by design, interfere with our monitoring work. So we were able to identify all these issues and design a work plan together. Then after context sensitivity, you know the stakeholders you're working with, we were able to now conduct joint learning. Now, what is it that happens during joint learning? We are able to identify community monitors, right? So NTA is working with community monitors at the grassroots level. As Walde mentioned before, those who are referred to as constituency monitoring committees. So we have this established in over 63 constituencies, and we have 12 county accountability network members established in 12 counties. So we work with these community members at the grassroots level to provide oversight and to monitor the projects. So in the second stage, we train them and we give them different tools that they are going to use to collect information. And one of the tools that is used in this stage that they're trained on is DevelopmentCheck application, which we are going to show you how it is used in the next presentation. And we also use the rapid assessment questionnaire and the beneficiary survey to collect information from the grassroots level, from users of the facilities and project visits. We also take photos of these projects that we visit. So we also identified the projects that we would monitor at this level. So we did this, and then after that now is when we go to the third stage of evidence-based. At this stage, we now collect data using the application, DevelopmentCheck. So after we collect data, we validate it, and we ensure that we have constructive engagement meetings with both the CDF and the users of the facilities, the beneficiaries, to validate the information and to corroborate the story that we are giving. And if there are any problems, they are identified, and then we strive to find solutions to the problems that are identified. So from constructive engagement, after we have come up with the solutions, we close the loop now. This is where the solutions are now implemented. And of course, this comes in implementation comes in from different stakeholders. So, because we partnered with CDFCs, they'll take it up. If there are issues of delays in disbursement, they'll follow it up. If there are issues with substandard materials being used in construction, they also follow it up, and we close the loop in such a way. When we are going through closing the loop, there's what we refer to as a fix. A fix refers to the solutions to a problem, to the satisfaction of all the stakeholders. And then there's what we call a fixed rate. A fixed rate would refer to the percentage of the number of problems that are resolved. And these are some of the spoilers that we were able to identify. Remember the first slide I mentioned that we also identified potential spoilers who would interfere with the work that we do. So as you can see, we have 7 levels of people who spoil the reform process. We have people with money power, those who have, those who use technology to interfere with the work that we do, those who have political power, you know, and also those who give wrong information. So all this we identified as potential spoilers, and we are able to address that. And also other challenges in our work, as we have seen, is access to information. The Constitution of Kenya is very explicit in terms of access to information, but we need now to enact an enabling law to ensure that it is well implemented. And of course, we have limited resources as an organization, and it goes out to our development partners to continue funding us so that we can continue to provide the checks and balances. So what's the significance of this approach? As I have said before, all stakeholders can use it, be it civil society organizations, be it government entities, be it the private sector. All of us can be able to use this approach to monitor the projects that are being implemented and to promote transparency and accountability. The approach also integrates ICT. You realize that this is very key in the government's agenda in terms of promoting ICT. So it's promoting ICT. We are moving from being analog to digital. And of course, as I've said before, it leads to the realization of the Constitution of Kenya 2010. So these are our contacts. Feel free to get in touch with us. We can be able to help you make integrity work in the different areas that you're working in.
NTI, you have been to my constituency, CDF, I believe maybe twice or 3 times, I'm not sure. But I want to thank you very much for not alerting those guys that you are arriving. So you catch them unawares. I think that's the best thing to do. And also I want to thank you for using Karachuonyo, or North Rachuonyo, or Karachuonyo CDF as a guinea pig for whatever you're doing. I believe it's an honor for us, because we probably will get the results that will point us to the right direction. I'm very, very grateful for that. Karachuonyo CDF, I'm the patron, and since I took it over, I believe we have done a lot of work for the constituency. With the little money that we get, I've always made a point by telling them that don't put your dirty fingers on the public funds. And if you do, I will tell the constituents, and you will be driven out with canes. And therefore, I believe I have a very strong team, people with integrity, the kind of integrity that I see around this room here. People I see here are the people that I have known before as having very high integrity. Surely, Kenya, I don't know how this country is doing it. We don't have major industrial work that can give our people the money. We don't have manufacturing plants. We don't have some serious agriculture to export products abroad to give us money. But we manage to run the country with the little money that we have. That little money, honestly, we must make sure that it serves the people of this country. But at the same time, I also want to tell my people that don't be lazy. Go out there and dig your small shamba and be food sufficient. Have enough food to feed your family rather than just sit back, drink changa, and then at the end of it, you shout, "I'm hungry," or "It's raining on me," or "We are flooded," and so on. We must also just get out there to make sure that we struggle to make to give our families something to eat. I'll go back to NTA, right? National Taxpayers Association. I think you don't need to concentrate only in constituencies. Please kindly expand to the counties. AD is not, does not have enough staff to cover the counties. I say so because I have realized that county government spill over to the constituencies, CDF projects, and claim that those are their projects. This is nasty, very nasty. Yeah? Or a project that was started by an NGO like maybe European Community or maybe World Vision, and they blatantly just write that they have fulfilled that project, put in 20 million, 10 million. They must be audited and be asked where they got that information from and to see if they actually took that money. It is annoying. And if you ask them, then they say, "Oh, I'm sorry, this was a wrong list, I'll give you." It does not work. I don't know how we are going to report these maladministrations. I think governors that control these things, we should only be given 2 years to govern and then go, and another person come in. So NTA, with your kind job, nice job, go out and audit also the county governments. Actually, what I'm trying to say is members of parliament know very well that if they mismanage CDF funds, they will not see parliament again. And therefore, they plan very, very well how to implement the small money that they are given. It's that money that we give to kids to go to school, and we build schools also. We try to put it on the roads. By the way, the counties, the county governments, they want to take the roads, but they don't want to take the roads. The big ones, they want to give back to the national government and also claim that they're the ones who built the road. Or they want to start another road, this end, and CDF starts from this end, they meet. Now, who owns that road? NTA, please look into these things. Especially projects that are being funded by other NGOs apart from the national funds, that's the CDF.
NTA currently is working on a tool. We are working in partnership with other organizations. And Auditor General's Office is one of the key partners that we are working with in terms of developing a tool that we are going to monitor both the constituency level funding and again, not only the funding at the county level, but also looking at how services are being delivered. The tool is ready, it's in draft form, and we are going to start with eight constituencies across the country, which we are going to start with as a pilot. So rest assured, Mheshimiwa, that we'll have a report on how the counties are doing, not only on how they're using resources, but also on service delivery to Mwananchi at the county level. Now, I want to take this opportunity now to invite Judy. Judy is the person behind, the application. She's a tech savvy, very good in ICT. She can be able to share with us, the good news that has enabled NTA, in terms of, moving to this level. Judy, karibu.
I want to thank the chief guest, Dr. Ochiende Amolo, the Auditor General, and all the important persons who've made time to be present here today to bear witness to the use of ICT as a mechanism of improving monitoring experience and making available monitoring results to wider audience. I am going to take you through DevelopmentCheck, which is the tool you've been hearing about since you arrived this morning, just to give you an idea of what it is, what it does, and how we're using it. DevelopmentCheck, it is an ICT tool which provides a bottom-up citizen feedback on development projects in 3 key areas. The first area is access to information. Here we try to examine how easy or how difficult was it for the monitors to access basic project documents such as project plans or the project budget. We've realized throughout the countries we work with, even though the country might have access to information laws, it is normally not as easy as it seems on the ground. There might be laws, but monitors might be finding it difficult to access these documents when they do monitoring, which normally hampers their work in various ways. The second area is community engagement. Here we look at if the community was engaged in project design and project implementation. Basically, we are trying to see how much the community owns their solutions. Finally, we look at effectiveness of development project. In this section, we try to see how effective the project was and if the project actually responds to the community's priority needs. Currently, we have 11 organizations which have registered and are actively using DevelopmentCheck to monitor their projects. NTA is one of those organizations. So far, we've published 203 projects in various sectors, for example, education, health, roads, and government administration. Apart from having the website, the DevelopmentCheck website, we thought of having a mobile app. The reason we designed the mobile app is because we acknowledge the fact that our monitors normally go to the remotest of places where internet access can be very challenging.